This is I Like That Story, a Prairie Christmas episode number 13, The Hill. This A Prairie Christmas episode of I Like That Story is brought to you by Evolution Consulting, nationwide consulting for style, speaking, and stage. Most Christmas memories where I live involve snow, and snow often brings memories of toboggans, or saucers, or sleds. Ask any adult and they'll tell you about the hill. In some cases, it may really have been a hill. In the case of my father-in-law, it was a full 1.5 miles long, and the farm he grew up on was near the top. Between chores, he and his brothers would grab their sleds and sneak off to the top of the hill. This was before the days of road salt, and on this country road there is very little winter traffic. So, if you had a good sled with sharp runners, and if you dragged your toe on the curves, you could go on a thrilling 3-minute ride and be back to the barn in 15 minutes before your dad found out. Now, his dad wasn't so much against sledding as against wearing the toes of the boots out. They only got one pair a year, and they had to last. If a kid showed up with holes in the top of his boots, there could only be one reason. My dad grew up in a small town built on a hillside. Every winter, the city fathers would close down Main Street so kids could slide down the street. My dad grew up in a small town built on a hillside. Every winter, the city fathers would close down Main Street so kids could slide down the street, a sacrifice of convenience and commerce, all in the name of fun. On the prairies, hills were much harder to come by, but that didn't stop kids from improvising. Marv talks about his dad taking the tractor out in the snow-covered fields and pulling kids on saucers in high gear. If a fella did it right, you could pop the tractor into road gear and spin the wheel, and the saucer would whip around, sailing over the frozen plowed fields. When I was a kid, a sled was one of the first presents you got for Christmas. I can still see mine with the ribbon on it from Santa. That was the same year we got a toboggan. You know, the all-wood kind made of bent strips of wood, light and dark, alternated. There were 3 of us, and we begged and begged to go out that afternoon. So we did, the whole family. Dad in front to lean left or right and steer. Then the 3 of us kids packed in tight behind and holding on to the rope handles, and Mom on back. We took our version of the hill, an average-type hill that seems huge in my memory. It had snowed about 6 inches and then rained, so there was a frozen crust of ice. It was the fastest toboggan ride our whole family ever took. It was the only toboggan ride our family ever took. Dad got a face full of frozen snow and lost his glasses. Mom hit a bump hard and compressed her backbone about 3 inches. They wished us Merry Christmas and limped back to the house, leaving us kids to hoot and holler away through the remainder of the day. We felt sorry for them, being old and all. I did the math the other day and realized that on that particular Christmas, my parents were 36 years old. I saw the toboggan the other day in my folks' garage, surprised at how short it was. Couldn't be longer than 7 feet. It was hanging next to the other sleds. Now they use sleds like that in theme restaurants and antique stores, and that toboggan is still waiting in my folks' garage. Who knows? Maybe this Christmas I'll take it out one more time. Thank you for listening. This story comes from my syndicated radio show, A Prairie Christmas, a holiday gift from all of us at I Liked That Story. ILikeThatStory.net is where you can find out more about the places I speak, the books I write, and podcasts and blogs, CDs of some of your favorite Christmas stories, and more. Look us up on ILikeThatStory.net. And until next time, with music from Dan Schwartz, I'm Jeff Gould. Merry Christmas.